All right, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Okay, so we're going to be discussing in this tutorial the square of 9, and we're meeting it with the price of Bitcoin. And we're going to tear it apart, and we're going to see the beautiful symmetry between numbers. Eventually, we'll mate it with the time, but for today, on this tutorial, we are primarily mating the square of 9 with Bitcoin. Okay, so if you don't know what the square of 9 is, you're new to this, go have a quick look at my previous tutorials. I have some other tutorials discussing the square of 9 in greater detail and give you a great understanding. Okay, moving on. So we made a top here at 69,000. So all the yellow represents tops, and all the hot pinks here represent bottoms. Now, where we have the two colors together will be an area where we're going to talk about where it's a top and a bottom. Okay? All right. So we're going to take the sine wave here that goes up to our 52,000, 53,000. So what's happening here is Bitcoin starts off its next sine wave maneuver here. Okay? And we're talking about the 28,000 right here. So from here, we moved right up to 53,000. So we spun all the way around and we went all the way to 53. We made a top. And these are the relationships that I'm talking about that Mr. Gann has talked about extensively throughout his life. All right. So now we've made a connection. So from 53, where could we again expect another pullback to say, around this level, 40,000, right? Well, sure. We can swing all the way around. 180 degrees from that top is this bottom. These two have a symmetry now. I hope you're now paying very close attention. All right. Where could our next top be? Well, from 40, well, we know with this data it's 69. Well, it's exactly two squares out or one great big circle, and it stopped exactly. All right. So here we are. So we've used the cardinal square now to find places in time. Now, we didn't talk about this 46 yet, really, in great detail, but it's a top, sure, because after we wicked down, we went all the way down to our 32,000, 33, and 34,000 level. Okay. From there, where could we expect our next top? Well, Mr. Gann would expect 180 degrees. So let's just see if that would be our top or not. Well, it's saying this 48 and 49. We know that 48 and 49, and it's almost signifying there's going to be a change on the square. Well, we'll see. 46 is, let's just say 46 is a perfect median on the cardinal now. So this 34 and this 46 have a symmetry and a relationship. Okay, so pay attention now. So from this 46, where could we expect our next more or less bottom or the next top or whatever we're looking for? Well, here we know that the data suggested that this 25 and 26 is an area. Why am I suggesting that? Well, not just because we had a spike back to here. I mean, that's obviously a major point. But it's just, it didn't make the 23 level. So we're off by 45 degrees, and this is our new level. Okay, so here's our 23, 24, 25 level right here. Okay, so from there, we went back up and we barely made it into this 30 level. Okay, and that is right on the other side here, or square, this 90-degree angle to here. So this indicated a lot of weakness. We couldn't get over that. And sure enough, we did. We folded right down. and we rolled all the way back, and then we came to 17. Okay, 270 degrees back in price. Then from our 17,000, we established our new bottom at 17.5. Where could we expect a top? Well, Mr. Gann would have said either 45, 90, 135, or 180 degrees. And sure enough, at 180 degrees again, as before, as we've been talking in this tutorial, there's our 25. So this is a top and a bottom now. This is a very significant area, and I want you to pay attention to this because this is a new topping level or a new bottoming level, depending upon what will happen with the price of Bitcoin. So from here, we're back and we're retesting our 18,000 level. So we've spun all the way back down, and we're right back at our basically our beginning again. So can we expect a move down? Where could we expect these moves? Well, knowing that now these levels are now our levels and not these levels, so we will be using this area of the square now to assume and get our levels. We know 21 is our, there you go, 22, right? Went up to 23, just couldn't quite, it just barely kissed it. So you can see that these levels on the square are very relevant. And this is why W.D. Gann was so accurate and able to predict or forecast, more importantly, the prices. All right, so moving forward from that, where can we expect now our next price move down? Well, we did top out right here at this 23 level right here we're talking about. So at this point, it is it's very possible and it's very, very likely that we can make a very massive and fast move down to 15, possibly down to our 13 level, and certainly down to 11, right in line here. So these are all levels. And not to forget that we can come back to 9, 8, and 7, and we can sit on 6. And as you guys know from previous tutorials, I've talked about this 6,000 level and this 4 to 5,000 level. So it's very possible 4,700, 5 grand, 6 grand Bitcoin. But we're going to see what's happening with cryptocurrencies and stuff, and we're not even going to talk about the geopolitical and the reset stuff. So let's just look at this from a mathematical standpoint when we determine what is going to happen next. So from here, you know that I've been calling for a change in trend in here, and I was saying that it's possible we could have a top here on the 3rd to the 10th, and then have a fall off, and certainly that would be kind of in line with our summer sucker rally here. So we're just going to be really, really careful here. We're at a really critical point here. You know, here's our divergence between our two tools here, you know, from our last top here and our current last tops. So are we going to have this amazing bounce up? It's very likely impossible. It's very possible. If something really bad were to happen, we could retest these levels, but I don't see that yet. I just right now I'm very cautious that we may roll over. We might, you know, because we're into this very active level. We were talking about this in this Fibonacci, you know, once we get into these levels, you know, we have these whipsaw moves, and, you know, they just whipsaw, tear you right to pieces. And it's just, and that's what's happening. It's been a 9 months, black sheep, bad news bears. That's what I've been. And I've just been sitting here sipping on Moonboy tears the whole time. It's just, that's what's happened, folks. I mean, come on, guys. So, are we about to break out? It's very possible and likely. Anyways, peace and love. If you like this, like and subscribe, share it with your colleagues, tear it to pieces. Thanks for joining us today.